Ni hao, 我叫 Harlan Krumholz. I'm a professor of medicine and a cardiologist at the Yale University School of Medicine. I've been privileged to work with valued friends and colleagues in China for over a decade and made my first visit to there in 1981. I've been witness to the remarkable and unprecedented changes in China from then to now. I admire the history, the culture, the talent, the achievement, the potential, and have so appreciated the warm friendship I've received from China. I've worked to improve healthcare in China and to find ways that other countries can learn from China for the benefit of their populations. I hope you consider me a very good friend of China. Today, I would like to share with you some thoughts about medicine at a critical juncture in its history, and about an important joint effort between Yale University and the city of Shenzhen. I call the project Collective Wisdom. Let me explain why. Medicine today is better than it has ever been, but it's far from as good as it could be. Every day, we are forced to make life and death decisions under conditions of ignorance and uncertainty. Every day, the quality of our healthcare is not as good as it could be. And this is true for every country, in every healthcare system, in every city and town throughout the world. We've made much progress in medicine with the development of many studies that have produced great amounts of evidence and supported many new breakthroughs. Our journals are full of papers, and the volumes are growing. Our textbooks are thick with information. Our medical schools are packed with instruction, fed by basic and clinical sciences and advances. And yet, for patients, the essential information about their specific health problem, their options for treatment, the likely risks and benefits, they're all often shrouded in ignorance and uncertainty. Studies about their particular situation are often lacking, or the studies that do exist may provide insight about the average results for large populations of patients, but lead us to be uncertain about the individual seeking care in front of us. Also, the quality of care can vary substantially across healthcare centers, hospitals, practitioners, across cities and towns. But it doesn't have to be this way. In these modern times, medicine has the opportunity to create a new approach to generating the information we need, supporting the decisions we make, optimizing the health outcomes that people can achieve. We can serve people better. We can produce new knowledge faster, and we can help people better achieve their own personal health goals. How do we do this? Well, the approach is simple. We create a learning health system. A learning health system is one in which we learn from every interaction, and we create the possibility, the imperative, to improve continuously. Improve in what we know, improve in what we can do, improve in how well we can help people. We can learn from every patient-practitioner interaction, every treatment, every health outcome. Tech companies like Amazon and Alibaba, they learn from every click. Every time a consumer uses their system, these companies get smarter. They're better able to anticipate consumer needs, they're better able to improve their product, and better able to serve their customers. With every click, they know you better. They innovate faster. They become more efficient. Healthcare, for the longest time, has failed to leverage its most vital resource, the daily experience of patients. We often do research separate from clinical care. If clinical care is over here, that's where we enroll patients in particular studies. And these people may not even be representative of typical patients. And the research settings may not resemble typical clinical practice sites, being that they're often specialized sites with extra staff and oversight. So what we learn over here in the clinical research world may not be directly relevant to the usual patients seen in usual clinical care. And the research, by the way, tends to be slow. We conduct studies that often take years by the time we think of the idea, organize them, enroll the patients, follow the patients, analyze the data, organize the findings, and finally publish the results. We did a recent study that showed the age of data in many of the clinical trials published in top journals are quite old by the time they are seen by the medical community. Moreover, even therapies shown to be effective in these clinical trials can fail to achieve their promise in the real world. There are challenges that patients face in the real world that can undermine their health and undermine the effectiveness of these treatments. These issues can only be understood by scrutiny of the people with health problems receiving care in real-world settings, far from the rarefied air of the clinical trial environments. In the nitty-gritty of the real world, results are often different, and we need to understand why. What we need is a system that's capable of learning rapidly and efficiently, teaching us about the health system performance, and helping us to improve our diagnoses and treatment, and enabling us, in particular, to personalize our approach based on what each person needs. We need a system that's generating collective wisdom from the experience of all, even as it protects the privacy of each individual's information. And such a system is now possible. With the digital transformation in medicine, it's possible. You may know in the last decade, a dramatic change has occurred in medicine. In many countries like the US and China, paper records have given way to electronic health record systems. X-ray films have given way to digital images. And in every corner of medicine, digital is now the standard. Digital means that data can now move at rapid speed. It can be easily organized and analyzed. It can be immediately put to use. These data can become an inexhaustible fuel for learning and improving. For example, hypertension is one of the most important causes of morbidity and mortality around the world. Every day, preventable strokes and heart attacks and kidney disease occur because of poorly controlled blood pressure. Each tragedy affects entire families and communities, changing lives forever and causing so many preventable deaths. In many countries, including the US and China, high blood pressure affects almost half of the adult population. But importantly, in China, less than 1 in 10 people with high blood pressure are treated adequately. And in all countries, there are people who are missed. In a digital world, we can identify in almost real time the quality of care provided to people with high blood pressure. We can identify people who may benefit from more intensive treatment. We can identify those people whose treatment is not optimal. We can support practitioners to work with their patients to make the best decisions together about how to reduce risk. And even though researchers have conducted so many studies of high blood pressure, we doctors are still often unsure of the best medications for any particular patient. There's so many drugs from which to choose. The guidelines from the experts give very little guidance about which drug is best for which individuals. Or if someone's on one drug, what should be the next one if they need 2 medications? All of this remains to be learned and understood better. In a digital world, we could learn from each patient treated so that the next person can benefit from that knowledge. The experience of each person can make the system smarter so that the recommendations for the next person build on what happened to the last one. With millions of people with blood pressure, it's possible to learn rapidly. And people can know that they were helped by those in front of them and that they are helping the ones behind them. That the community of patients are ensuring that the lessons of their experience with their health conditions are being used for those that follow. There's so many examples. In medical discovery, we need observations to stimulate laboratory investigation. Precision medicine, the emergence of strategies specific to individuals, requires us to study large numbers and to identify clusters of people who are similar. We need to rework, for example, our disease categories They're not two types of diabetes. There may be hundreds of types. They're not two types of heart failure. There may be hundreds of types. To refine our taxonomy of disease and to be able to match strategies with people, we need knowledge from millions. In a digital world, we can study millions more easily. We can identify extreme and unusual phenotypes. We can more easily investigate non-medical factors, how, for example, behaviors, habits, activities, exposures, social context, quality of care, how they all influence outcomes. We can more easily discover breakthroughs and learn how to best implement them. We can also do clinical trials better, faster, and cheaper. We have many potential breakthroughs that are left on the shelf because it's just too expensive to conduct the studies that are needed. We can fix that. In medicine, we depend heavily on pattern recognition. We do this for diagnosis, for the interpretation of images, for the reading of electrocardiograms, and for so many other purposes. And yet, humans are limited in their pattern recognition abilities and are susceptible to cognitive biases. In a digital world, we can get assistance from data properly analyzed to serve as an expert opinion to help us do better. And the images or information or patterns from prior patients can inform the interpretation or understanding of those patterns. And the expertise of artificial intelligence interpretations will grow with each image examined or each pattern identified. In medicine, we also want to predict the future. We call it prognosis, estimating people's risk. What might happen to them? Again, we're not so skilled. We humans are not so skilled at prediction. And doctors often disagree with each other. And we are susceptible to these cognitive biases again. In a digital world, our powers of prediction can improve. The data from prior patients and their outcomes can help hone the accuracy of predictive analytics and help inform estimates of a patient's prognosis. And the accuracy of the predictive instruments will grow as each patient's experience is incorporated. These digital data and the analytics can then produce tools that can provide vital information to policymakers, administrators, practitioners, and patients. The promise is that these tools will transform the performance of the healthcare system. Just as airline pilots today couldn't imagine flying without the digital instruments, providing a better flying experience, more fuel-efficient flight plan, and a safer flight. Doctors will someday feel that they would not consider practicing without the assistance of digital tools that support their decisions, promote the safety of their patients, improve the outcomes of all. Yet, for all the promise of digital medicine, we have yet to leverage it and integrate it fully into practice. Many challenges make it difficult to change medicine. And despite the existence of digital data, we're still anchored in a paper culture, doing things the way we've almost always done them. The data tend to be fragmented, recorded in different formats across systems and venues. Our ability to harness the wisdom embedded in that data is markedly impaired. So we're doing things as we always have. We have to fill out forms time and time again. The digital data doesn't make our work easier. It can make it harder. Learning from the record has become harder, not easier. And often when doing studies, we actually have to have a human being reading one set of electronic data from the medical record and then manually entering it into another electronic system. How do we create a learning health system smarter with every interaction, responsive, agile, supportive, efficient, personalized, transparent, secure, private, value-laden, data-driven, producing collective wisdom from the experience of each person for the benefit of all, and with a model that provides a blueprint that enables it to spread and scale to countries all across the world? We at Yale are undertaking just such an endeavor with the city of Shenzhen and their Medical Information Center. Shenzhen is a leader in innovation and a leader in supporting industries that leverage digital data. There's no place in the world better poised to create the blueprint for a digital learning health system, to demonstrate its potential, and to share this path with the world than Shenzhen. Meanwhile, we at Yale have been focusing on how best to harness the digital transformation in medicine for the good of patients and for the good of society. We are developing novel ways to integrate and normalize data from different sources, analyze it, and produce knowledge and insight that will help people. Together, Shenzhen and Yale can be wonderful partners. We have data scientists and clinicians, computer specialists and implementation science experts, mathematicians and quality improvement specialists, and patients and policymakers and administrators and more. This is truly a team effort. Our goals are to use the digital data generated in the everyday conduct of healthcare delivery and in the course of people's lives to enhance discovery, produce information, promote accountability, drive quality improvement, and support policy development and evaluation. We can do this rapidly, and we can produce information almost in real time, updating what we are learning with each patient coming through the system. And we can do it while protecting the privacy of individuals, but enabling their data to contribute to the collective wisdom and to the common good. Our collaboration has 3 aims. First, the development of a data science platform to support initiatives to improve health, healthcare, and health outcomes. Second, the development of methods, analytics, software strategies, and applications to improve health, healthcare, and health outcomes. And third, the implementation and testing in real-world settings of digital and data-driven strategies, products, and tools to improve health, healthcare, and health outcomes. The idea is to build a platform and continuously improve it, create applications and continuously iterate them, and implement the applications and continuously optimize them. A key to our success is the platform itself. It's a data science platform built on an open source technology to support real-time big data workloads. The platform can create integrated data lakes to support large real-time data sets and provide a robust analytics platform where data can be analyzed in near real time. The idea is to focus on integration of existing data and the development of new data from clinical, contextual, environmental, behavioral, and other sources, and realize overall assessment of an individual through an entire process including diagnosis, course and result of treatment, and long-term prognosis. And then develop a mechanism for the continuous collection analysis and report as these relate to the use and effect of diagnostic and treatment strategies. Create a means to learn from everything that goes on within healthcare. In this way, we can build a supercomputer capability with large streams of data and powerful analytics, creating the perfect milieu for learning and for propelling improvement. Another key is finding the right use cases. We need to identify where information is likely to improve care, elevate outcomes, reduce waste, and help people generally. We need to focus on the end user of the information and to ensure the information is presented in a way that is user-friendly. And then another key is to be attentive to the implementation of these tools, aware of the challenge of those who may use them. How does the information fit into a workflow? How can we ensure that these tools are intuitive, easy to grasp and use, and not annoying or obtuse, but entirely helpful? We should be able to produce a pipeline that transforms raw data into useful information and into tools that can easily be integrated into practice and continually updated and refined. This is a learning health system. We're building the prototype, creating a blueprint for a data-driven, patient-centric learning health system. We will start with creating measures of performance of the healthcare system. We will develop assays, measures of performance, focusing on patient outcomes. We will assess variability across healthcare settings and identify opportunities to improve. We'll talk with people in the community. We'll listen to their needs. We'll incorporate their perspectives. We'll develop lists of use cases that can serve various stakeholders. We'll seek to develop what people need to improve health system performance, to better serve their patients, and to improve patient outcomes. Together, we can build the means for collective wisdom, with each person contributing to a stronger whole, and ensuring that the next person has a better chance for a good health outcome than the last person, because we learn from each person. In the future, you will benefit from all that can be learned from the person just in front of you and all of the people who preceded you. And your experience will not fail to help the next person. It will indeed contribute to the body of medical knowledge that will help all. This is the vision we hope to achieve. We'll work hard because we seek to serve the people whose health will benefit from our work. And bit by bit, working together, learning from each other, supporting each other, we will achieve our goals. And not only for Shenzhen, but for China. And not only for China, but for the US. And not only for China and the US, but for the world. This is Project Collective Wisdom.